Hey there, how are you? So, everybody has stress in their life. Stress is just something that's just inevitable. I have it, you have it, everybody has it. And as entrepreneurs, oftentimes we just get that feeling of overwhelm and stress and that mental chaos that goes in our head of those things that we're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I gotta go, 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 go. And you're working late hours and you're working all the time and you just feel stressed and you don't know what to do. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is impossible. I'm never gonna be able to do this. We all go through it, whether you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or just in everyday life. And what do you do? So today we're going to talk about my tips and the things that I do in my own life to fight stress and to just get back on track and get centered again. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Teresa Cantley, and I am a brand and marketing strategist. And I work with entrepreneurs to help them re-energize their brand and to really build a better business that serves them and makes them re-energized in their life and in their business and just, moves them forward. So today what we're talking about is, what do you do to combat stress? What do you do to when you get stressed out and you feel overwhelmed and you just don't know what to do and you're going, going, going and your mind is racing a mile a minute. And for me, how it manifests itself physically is I don't sleep. And I normally sleep very well, but when that anxiety and stress sets in, I don't sleep. And, when I was younger, I never really felt anxiety, and as I got older, I started to realize, what stress feels like, what anxiety feels like. So I've also found ways to combat it, and I'm going to share those tips with you today. So I have 6 ways here, maybe 7. There might be a little bit of a bonus in there. So we're going to go through them all, and hopefully they help you. And they've helped me in my life. I teach them to the people that I work with one-on-one, so hopefully they help you. So the first one is, when I get really stressed and I get really overwhelmed, I just stop, take a deep breath, and literally stop. Like, stop. Don't do anything. Don't focus on anything. Just shut the computer, lock it, whatever. Shut the computer, turn the phone off, and just stop. Just stop. And take a deep breath and just sit there for a minute. So that's the first thing that I do. Second thing is, I say a prayer. And literally my prayer goes like this. Whatever you believe in, if it's God or the universe or source or spirit or whatever it is, and just bringing something higher than yourself into it and just saying, I need some help figuring this out. I need some help sorting these things out. And just kind of sit there for a minute and just stopping, refocusing, and thinking about something higher than myself to help me calm down and get centered again so that I can continue on with my work. And I think throughout my life, because I do have a daily meditation practice, not everybody does, but throughout my life, that has helped me to recenter and refocus so that I can get out of my own head, because that's what it's all about, and get back to being in the present space so that I can move forward. So first thing is just stop, take a breath. Second thing is like I said, I say a little prayer. Whatever you believe in, even if you just have to sit for a minute and just say, I can do this, I can get through this, I can do this. Whatever it is, make it work for you. The third thing is that I sit there and I think to myself, what is the absolute worst that can happen? I'm not doing brain surgery. I'm not sending people into space. So when I get really stressed about something, I sit there and I think, what's the absolute worst thing that can happen? If I am really stressed about putting together a marketing plan for something, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. And then what do? We refocus our efforts and we start with something new. We try something different. We shift things around and we, relaunch it. So what's the worst that can happen? So I stop and I think to myself, all right, what's the worst that can happen? Okay. And if that doesn't help me out, then I start to think to myself, why am I so stressed out about this? Why is this stressing me so much? And I just kind of just think, is it because and normally it has to do something that is in my own head and my own story. So it either goes back to, I don't feel good enough about doing this, I'm not smart enough, I'm not, whatever. And I start to think about, why am I so stressed out about this? And like I said, it's normally something that I'm making up in my own mind, a story that I'm making up, or it's just, this thing that I'm telling myself, this limiting belief or this negative thought. And after I think to myself, why am I so stressed out about this? Logically, and the truth starts to set in, probably from the prayer that I said, and probably from thinking, what's the worst that could happen? So then when I start thinking about that, I get out of my own head and I actually get into my heart and get into, okay, I'm back in the present time. It's really not that bad. I can figure this out. I can do this. I just need to take a step away is what you're doing. Stepping away from it, unplugging from it. Because when you do that, it'll work again. So when I start to think to myself, all right, why am I so stressed out about this? Normally, it's really kind of silly. And I can get centered again and get present again. The next thing I do, step number 5, is I actually get moving. I get out, I go for a walk. Getting out in nature just helps you to just recenter your thoughts and refocus yourself. It gets you grounded again. So I just get out in nature and get moving, or even do a workout in the house, run up and down the stairs, in my house, or even just walk around the yard. Just get up, get moving, get the energy moving in your body. And it helps to refocus yourself, because when you sit in front of the computer and you're forcing something to happen, it's not going to happen. Take a step away from it. You allow it to breathe. You allow yourself to breathe so you can come back and refocus again. And normally after I get out and I get moving and I get walking, or I'm walking around the house, or something, things start to just you can literally feel the energy just start to calm down, and things start to make sense again. So like I said, the number 5 step, or the 5th step, is to just get out and get moving. And the last step, if none of this works, and normally this is when we have something major going on, like, my husband was diagnosed with cancer, or, that happened twice this past year. So when something big like that happens, and none of these things that I'm doing, I can't seem to get myself recentered and refocused, that's when going back to my roots, going back to literally getting out of the space that we're in and going back to where I grew up. I grew up in farmland. I grew up, my mom went to the Mennonite stand every weekend and bought her food, and, went to the butcher to buy her meat. And so going back home and going back to that fresh air and the fields and the flowers and just that open space helps me to just ground myself back down again and forget about everything else and remember what is so great about life. And it helps me to just refocus and not be so stressed. So hopefully these tips have helped you. So number 1, stop and breathe. Just stop, take a deep breath, like I am right now. Number 2, say a prayer. Just, even if it's quietly to yourself, I can get through this. If you have a power mantra, if you have some inspirational phrases that you say in the morning, get those back out and say them to yourself. Or if you believe in God or spirit or source, say a prayer. Connect to something higher than yourself. Number 3, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, really, what's the worst that could happen? Normally it's not as bad as what we think. Again, we get in our own head and we start cranking out this story that's like, oh my gosh, it's like Chicken Little. What's the worst that can happen? And again, kind of going along with that, number 4 is, why am I so stressed? Why am I so stressed out about this? And normally what comes up is the reason why we're so stressed is normally some kind of a limiting belief. It's fear. Fear surrounds everything. It's not going away. As long as we don't listen to it, it won't, you know, control the way that we feel and then our actions. So, you know, why am I so stressed? Normally, like I said, it is something fear-based, and we can overcome it. We can plow through that, and that can actually help us to propel through it. Number 5, get out, get moving. You know, walk around the house, go out into nature, go for a walk, do a workout, whatever it takes. You know, get up and get moving and get those endorphins running again. Let your mind clear so that you can go back and you can start working on what you need to do. And number 6, if all else fails, go back to your roots. What is it that thing that makes you feel comfortable, that thing that makes you feel that just has that stress just go away, that makes you feel grounded, that makes you feel happy and peaceful and joyful and really, you know, connects your head and your heart and then everything else. What is that for you? For me, it's going back to the country. It's going back to that countryside and going back to that simplicity and that slower pace, you know, versus the higher pace that faster pace that I'm so used to. And number 7, if all else fails, have a dance party. Get up, get dancing, get moving, turn some tunes on. You'll feel so much better. I love, 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 love dancing. So all of these 6 tips, add in dancing, and I'm stress-free. So I hope these tips helped you. And if you want to get more inspiration and know more about me and my one-on-one coaching, check me out at teresacantley.com. I have a free download. If you're looking to start a business or you have a business and you want to get it re-energized, I have a free download, 6 steps to make anything possible. You can click on the link below and download it, and it'll get you going. So I hope these tips helped you, and I will see you next time. Take care.